Hey, the devil is a cheap copy. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Our Father God has several attributes that are unique to him. Three of the big ones are that he's omnipotent. That is, he's all-powerful. He's omniscient. He knows everything. He is also omnipresent, which means he's everywhere. And therefore, you could assume every when, all through time. This is not a dissertation on these things. You can research them on your own in depth if you so choose. I'll touch on them briefly. God's omnipotent. In Mark 10:27, it says, Jesus looked at them and said, with man it is impossible, but not with God, for all things are possible with God. God's omniscient. In Matthew 10:30, it says, but when even the hairs of your head are numbered. And God is omnipresent. In Proverbs 15:3, it says, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. So there are plenty of people out there that would try to pass themselves off as a god of some sort, or worse, just plain old tricky bastards who pretend to be your ally. The Bible warns us to watch out for them in 2 Corinthians 11:13 through 15. It says, for such men are false apostles, deceitful workmen, disguising themselves as apostles of Christ. And no wonder, for even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. So it is no surprise if his servants also disguise themselves as servants of righteousness. Their end will correspond to their deeds. Did you catch that? The devil will try to pass himself off as an angel, a messenger of God, and he's a cheap copy of even that these days. Rumor has it that Satan was cast from heaven for the sin of pride. He was trying to make himself equal to or even higher than God in an attempted coup. Him and his minions got the boot. For if God did not spare the angels when they sinned, but cast them into hell and committed them to chains of gloomy darkness to be kept until the judgment, in 2 Peter 2:4, and Luke 10:17 through 18 tells us that some of the early disciples, after learning they had power and authority, came back from their assigned tasks pretty pumped, pretty excited. It says, the 72 returned with joy, saying, Lord, even the demons are subject to us in your name. And he said to them, I saw Satan fall from lightning like heaven. So, see, Satan got the boot. In his persistent attempt to become godlike, having tested the limits of his spiritual power, he has no choice but to rely on the physical world. That's technology. Let's check the cheap copy's attempt to replicate God's attributes. Satan wants to be omnipotent. Well, first we had bronze, and then iron swords, and then bows and arrows, and cannons and firearms, and explosives, tanks, aircraft, and eventually nuclear weapons. He has the power of wrath and killing and smiting covered, right? How about disease, chemical and biological weapons? How about creating life, though? Can he do anything positive? Well, from a worldly point of view, maybe. Gene splicing, cloning, artificial intelligence. What about that? Satan wants to be omniscient. How about NSA surveillance, webcams, 360-degree cameras, the internet, more AI, traffic cameras, security cameras, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, near-field communications, radio, Alexa? Would these things allow a network of possessed or influenced people to do his bidding and learn whatever they needed to carry out nefarious tasks? Even the Nazis used some of the first electromechanical computers to carry out their horrifying extermination schemes. And that was nearly 80 years ago. Satan wants to be omnipresent. See, the omniscience thing above, and you add in some secret recording devices. You add in mass media, social media, like Facebook Live, for example. How about camera drones, spy satellites? If evil can take control of one person with access to any of these technologies, he can cover a lot more bases than he could in, say, 1862. The Bible clearly tells us that this is not some ultimate physical war against evil, even though there are definitely battles against it. Ephesians 6:12 states that, for we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. So, my dear friends, pray always, guard your hearts, and choose your words and actions carefully. God is watching, sure, but so is the cheap copy, and he is looking for your weakness. Ephesians 4:27 says, give no opportunity to the devil. So, watch your six, and we should all look out for each other. Hey, you might remember that we're drawing a name for someone in the U.S. to win an iPad mini on June 8th. To be entered in the drawing, join the email newsletter at 5minutedisciple.com. And until then, be blessed and have a fantastic weekend. See you soon.